Right, Carnivore Soldier coming at you from Austin, Texas. Just a few seconds early tonight. You made it another week. In fact, you made it through probably the hardest week of the year for a lot of people. You made it through Thanksgiving, and I know it was tough. A lot of you, stuck to your guns and came out great. A lot of you slipped up. It doesn't matter. Just get back on that horse and ride like you never fell off. Make it a learning lesson and correct course. As we say in the Army, adjust fire and drive on. So, all right, let's bring in our guest. A lot of you guys know Brian Nowicki from Wickivore. And how's it going, Brian?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. He's another carnivore YouTube content creator. You guys definitely need to check out his channel, like and subscribe. Puts a lot of good stuff out. And the guy makes his own kielbasa. How cool is that, man? Polish kielbasa from scratch that he knows there's no junk in. I'm gonna have to hit him up for some of that at some point for sure, because it sounds pretty awesome. All right, Brian. So yeah, welcome to the channel. Good to see you again. Why don't you tell us real quick about your Thanksgiving? I know we already talked about it, but let's share with the group what your Thanksgiving was like, and how many people in your family were carnivore? Because I know a lot of people will probably, a lot more people will probably, understand your point of view more than mine. Because almost everyone at mine was carnivore. There's very few that weren't. But tell us about your experience.
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me on again.
Yeah.
Always love coming on the Wednesday Hump Day Meetup with you. So, all right. So Thanksgiving. First thing for me is that I am the only one that is carnivore or even low carb within my family, other than my dog. So when it comes to eating like Thanksgiving, I'm basically stuck with looking at all these side dishes, desserts, all this sugar and stuff like that, right? Breads and all that stuff. So here was my plan. I went into it and I said, well, first of all, we were going to be eating later in the day because my son and my one daughter were coming back later in the day. So early in the day, I had a nice size steak, like about a 22-ounce New York strip, somewhere in there. And my plan was that would be the big meal of the day. And then at Thanksgiving dinner, when everybody's sitting there with all the food, I would have some turkey and some deviled eggs, and that would be it. And my plan worked out pretty well. That's all I ended up eating. I stayed away from all the side dishes, the mashed potatoes, the yams, green bean casserole, all that kind of stuff. Stayed away from the desserts. They must have had like 5 or 6 different types of desserts there, I'm telling you. But I stayed away from all of them, and I did really well. So it worked out pretty well for me. The key, I think, was having that bigger meal earlier in the day so that I wasn't as tempted, wasn't really as hungry and stuff, and wasn't as tempted for the other food.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. When I'm going to go out to a social event, if I eat burger patties in advance, that's awesome. It really makes a huge difference for me not to be tempted. For ours, you talk about the deviled eggs. I made some deviled eggs from a carnivore recipe, and it was great. They were, in fact, the kids started devouring them, and I had to stop them. I'm like, all right, guys, wait. Not everyone had gotten there yet. Right? We had 12 people there, including me and my son, and 10 others, including a buddy that's a veteran that didn't have anywhere to go, and my neighbor who's a veteran and his girlfriend and son. So we had a lot of people there, plus my brother, his family, my sister and her husband, and we had 3 dogs in the house. It was a lot. It was a lot going on. But once we got the deviled eggs, once everyone got at least one, I was like, all right, you kids, and they came and demolished them. I got 2. They were really good. That was a great recipe. And the thing I shared with you, the shortcut you can do instead of having to hard boil all your eggs, you can buy these eggs, organic eggs at Costco that are pre-shelled and pre-boiled, and then all you gotta do is cut them and scoop out the the yolk, and then make your mix. And the mix I used, it was carnivore. It just had a little bit of stevia in it. It had homemade bacon mayo that I make for my recipe. That was fantastic, and it had a little bit of mustard in it. and but it was great. And I just whipped that sucker up and put it in a Ziploc bag and cut the corner and then squeezed it, so it looked really nice too. Actually looked pretty cool. I forget what those things are called that they use for baking, but they have like a bag that you buy that does that thing. I'm not a I'm not a I'm not a culinary artist, right? But I knew that I'd see someone do it with a Ziploc. I'm like, okay, I can do a Ziploc. That's too easy. So anyway, those, and then I topped with a couple bacon bits, and I get the Costco bacon bits too, because I find that I can make my own, but the ones from Costco are just like the perfect texture, the perfect cooked amount where they're not too crispy, they're not too chewy, they're just right. And I'm all about being convenient, being a single guy. I mean, now since you're the only carnivore in your family, you must do all your own cooking, obviously, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I have gotten those bacon bits from Costco before, though. They are pretty good. But yeah, I typically do all of my own cooking, and the rest of the family does their cooking, and I do my own cooking. So I guess the good thing is that I know that I'm cooking exactly what I should, and not using whatever vegetable oil or any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, my cooking tends to be pretty simple, though. It's like today I had a pound of ground beef and 4 eggs earlier, and then I was hungry this evening, so before we jumped on, I made up a pound of bacon, and that was what I ate. So it's not like it takes that much to cook my food, but it's pretty simple stuff. It's basic. My wife's like, "Your food is so basic." I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't get tired of it. It's
No,
great."
that's the thing. That's so weird because like today, here's what I had. I woke up and I had a carnivore bar, the pemmican. I had a bar. That's the first thing I ate. Put a little salt on it, ate that. And that's an acquired taste, but I've acquired the taste. I like it now. And then I had 2 burger patties with butter and salt. And I get the I know it's not the best beef, but these were the pre-cooked ones from frozen from Costco. They sell a sleeve for like $19. And sometimes I was really busy today. I didn't have time to cook. So I just threw them in the microwave, heat them up, flip them over, put some butter on it, heat them up, put some salt, and then just eat them. And they're good. I mean, they work. And then for dinner, I had one more burger patty for dinner with butter and salt, and then I put a piece of cheese on it. So I had a little condiment cheese on there and some bacon on top of that, and it was delish. And that's all I had. I mean, that's not very much for and I worked out today, so I'm 6'3", 234. I'm actually 6'2" and a half now because I'm shrinking a little bit, but 6'3" in my boots and my shoes, right? And today I lifted, and I only lift for like 10 minutes. I did rubber band exercises, and then I sprinted. And I still not really super hungry. I don't know. I don't eat as much. And when I do, it is strictly like a biological function. And here's something, anyone that's been in the military, I can't say all military because in the Navy's not this way, but in the Army, you when you're out in the field and you're eating MRAs, it's not a pleasure thing. You're eating because you're starving, and that's the only food you have. Right. Now on the Navy, they actually have real meals, and when I was on submarine, it was a little different because they'd actually make meals, and you have kind of choices of what you want. Some things or others, depending on what was available. But in the Army, it was really a biological function. It's like, all right, I have to drink, I have to eat because I haven't yet. And there's nothing else but this MRE, which is terrible. But what we used to say in the Army is it'll make a turd. And that's true, right? So in fact, I remember one time our first sergeant, we asked him like, hey, what's the mission? He's like, the mission is to turn all these MREs into turds, and then we can leave. And there was like a whole pallet of these things, right? So we were going to stay there for a while, is what he's telling us. So anyway, all right, Sugarland. I know Sugarland, Dana. Welcome. I think you must be new. I don't recognize you, but maybe yeah, I know Sugarland because I used to work in oil and gas down there. So I used to work in Freeport, and I'd stay in Sugarland at a Marriott there. There's like a mall, I think. I forget what that's called. Let's see. A thought of your moose. I was watching a dog show. Great Dane is Pennsylvania State dog. Oh, I didn't know that. The Great Dane is a Pennsylvania state dog. I've never,
Hmm.
well, and here he's, yeah, Sugarland Town Square. That's it. Yeah, there's like a red robin there. I used to go eat at when I was staying at that hotel, and I stayed there because I hated staying in Freeport because there's nothing in Freeport. Freeport, Texas is an oil and gas town. All it is just petrochemical plants. So anyway, I digress. So, what you got going on this week so far, man? You got any other plans besides this live stream?
I have a live stream tomorrow evening with Greg. We're doing the low carb football party thing. We typically do that on Thursdays. So we're doing that again Thursday. And this has been it. Like I had a video come out yesterday, I think. That was like the first video really since Thanksgiving. I kind of took a few days off to spend time with the family and that. So I had that video come out. We got this live stream, and I got the live stream Thursday. But yeah, just it's been kind of a bit relaxed. You're just spending a little more time with the family and stuff. So I got to get back into making more videos. So
Yeah, I took a break too over the Thanksgiving week up till now, and then now I'm scheduling out. So like tonight at 1:30 in the morning. Yes, I'm setting my alarm. I'm gonna be live in Australia with DC and DC Learning to Live, the cancer survivor, and
Yep.
so I've set my alarm. I'm planning to get up and join his live stream tonight. That David Charles, that should be great. So that's a live stream I'm going to do, and then I'm doing another Mission Carnivore interview with another veteran. This guy's another UK veteran, and he's an Army guy, and he's actually you know how I always show off another YouTuber's channel. It's his channel that I'm showing off. It's Carnivore Rob. And let me just do this real quick. Let's see. There we go. Or no, we'll do it this way. Yeah. So this is Carnivore Rob's page. You can see at the bottom. You can go check out his page, like and subscribe his stuff for sure. The guy's, he's an Army guy and got out of shape, and now he's getting right back into shape. You see the pictures of him when he's young, when he got out of shape. Now he's ripping back down, and really cool guy. Looking forward to our discussion. It'll be later next week, I think. So, but in the meantime, he's only got like 63 subscribers. So let's see if we can bump that up. Let's see if we can get some people on there, go help out Carnivore Rob and get him up. And also, while we're at it, you can go to Brian at Wickivore, and he just got he's well over 1,000 subscribers now, but he needs to get his hours up so his channel can get monetized, which would be great. That's a big success when you get more hours up, your videos get more traction and such. So it's it'll get more of a footprint, and that's what we need. We need more and more content providers sharing their stories, because just like my story is a military point of view, and Brian's is someone else, had I forget what your heart condition was.
AFib.
And I've never had AFib, so I can't really talk about it. But this guy corrected it through diet, and that's a huge angle that I don't have. That I can't really. Someone on my channel says, "Hey, I got AFib," I'd say, "Well, go check out Brian, because he's already dealt with." That's exactly what I would do, right? And that's a big deal. Speaking about new channels, there's one other. There's Carnivore Cheer, who was actually, I do have a membership program with people that support my channel, and they support my Mission Carnivore to outreach to veterans with PTSD and suicide and all the things that I care about, and how this diet can really make a difference. Lori at Carnivore Cheer was the first person to become a member of my channel, and will always hold a special place in my heart because of that. But she actually started her own channel now too, and she has her first video up. It came out 3 days ago, so I'm going to actually do a double share, which I've never done before. You're seeing it live here the first time ever, a double share. But anyway, so check out Lori's page at Carnivore Cheer. And I'm going to put these in the description afterwards, so you don't have to stop and write it down now. But she has a great video. It's her first one. She's got 57 subscribers and 100 views on the video already. So let's see if we can push her up too. These are, it's not easy making a YouTube channel. It's really difficult. There's a lot of barriers, including technical barriers and time barriers and family barriers. There's a lot of stuff, shyness barriers. There's lots of stuff to deal with. Let me ask you, Brian, you said you had a YouTube channel before though, right? Before Carnivore?
Yeah. I had a sports channel, and I did some podcasting with that, some like podcast interviews, that kind of stuff with the sports related channel. So I did have a little bit with that.
So you have a podcast voice. That's pretty good. That's nice. So how long did you do podcasting and YouTube before you started the Carnivore?
Ooh, it wasn't that long. Like maybe, well, I was already on Carnivore, but I hadn't started the Carnivore channel yet, right? So like maybe 4 or 5 months or so before doing the Carnivore channel. I just felt like I was best to talk about my experiences and go into the carnivore realm. So I just created a completely different channel, and I use that channel now instead of the other one. So I haven't really updated the sports one at all recently. So yeah, but I was already carnivore for, I don't know, maybe, yeah. Was it about 6 months? Yeah, I guess it was about 6 months when I started the sports channel.
Cool. Let's see. And then, so your other channel's not being used anymore. It's just
not really. I mean, I checked it the other day and I actually picked up a subscriber, which I thought was funny because there hasn't been a new video in like 4 months on that channel.
I was surprised that when I took the break, I still picked up subscribers during this break. And I did launch a really good video that took off right before, is my last video right before Thanksgiving. It was a week before. I don't know if you saw it. It was Carnivore on $40 a week.
And I think I missed it.
Yeah, it's so basically I had made a post on that before that, hey, you can do this carnivore diet. And it was just a fixed post on the community with a spreadsheet showing that, $40 a week, you could actually at Walmart, you could do a bbbe diet, proper bbbe diet. And
yep, I've seen that post. Yeah.
So then I did the video, and I had shot this video a long time ago. I'd never edited it or put it together, but I went and I decided, okay, I'm gonna edit it before Thanksgiving and get this thing out. And man, did that hit a nerve. People are just like, it's my highest performing video ever. Like 26,000 views in literally 2 weeks or something. Is crazy. So and huge numbers of comments and people saying thank you, and some people, it's crazy. The comments go everywhere from this is what I'm doing, I'm spending $180 a month and this is exactly what I'm eating, to there's no way a human can live off this, and I'm like, I assure you can, because I live off of about that, although I'm not as frugal. I'm buying different meats, but I'm still living off about that amount of meat, which the meat I go with is like a pound of ground beef. I think it's 6 eggs and 2 strips of bacon and then butter. I mean, you could live off that. In fact, people have actually done the carnivore diet on just eggs and butter, and that's very cheap. And I know you can do that because I know people have done it. So anyway, so that was my big video, and that thing just took off during Thanksgiving, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. I didn't expect it. But it's so weird to see the different reactions people have. And then some people, like, you get the evil people too that jump in that feel like they need to be just evil, like so I always thank them for their comment though, and then just hide it. Like, oh, thank you for your comment. Hidden from channel, because they're just like not people you can talk to. I don't know. I'm sure you get some people like that too, don't you? Where people are making comments that are just inappropriate or attacks. Yeah.
Yeah, I get a few of those. Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I just don't understand someone's mindset to take time out of their day to watch a video they don't agree with and then comment on it like that. I mean, if it was like if it's like the people saying, well, you can't live off that, that's one thing. Like, okay, I see. So you're saying you need more calories than that. That's fine, or whatever. That's cool. Or some people say you shouldn't use calories, right? Because they're all purists. And I'm like, well, like this, I listed calories because that's what new people coming in understand. And that's how they understand food, right? So I'm not saying I'm counting calories. I don't count any macros. I'm just saying that these are the calories that are in this food based on. So, I do try to, those people I can engage with. Like, that makes sense. Like, if someone says, you shouldn't do calories. Okay, well, I get that. I understand where you're coming from, but this is why I did it. But when someone comes in and says, like, you're evil and you're a murderer and all this stuff, like, whatever. I was like, if meat is murder, then I was like a serial killer during Thanksgiving, because I ate a lot of meat. I mean, I ate all kinds of meat. So, I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. You can't talk to people like that.
Yeah.
Mama Cracker in the house. What's like the most memorable comment you've gotten on any of your videos, whether good or bad? Just like, what do you think? Do you have any that really just stood out?
Yeah. Oh, I definitely have. Yeah. Well, I think in terms of bad, one of the most interesting ones was I did a video about my AFib and how it's pretty much, in remission, haven't had any episodes. And boy, now it's like, I don't know, 15, 16 months, somewhere in there. And I also got off of the medication more recently. The cardiologist took me off the medication, and I talked about that. And somebody commented, well, you only fixed AFib because you lost weight. It had nothing to do with your diet, and you're probably going to have a heart attack. And it's like, okay, like, where do people come up with this stuff? Like, literally in the video, I said that when I first got AFib, I probably weighed about the same as I do right now.
Yeah.
And that's when I actually got it. So if it has to do with losing weight, then shouldn't I still have it because I haven't lost enough weight yet? Or is it because I'm actually eating the right things now?
Right.
So I would say that was definitely one of the most interesting for me. There is a good one.
Where did you go to med school would be a good question too, because I'm interested where they're teaching that.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a really good one I've had on the reverse side of that. And I think it was actually the same video for AFib, where somebody had reached out to me and they said, I've been having all kinds of problems with AFib, and I'm so glad that I found this video. I'm going to try this. And I've actually, since then, I've talked to them in email a few times. And so far it's been working pretty well for them. So they've been like, I think they're like 2 months now without an episode, which is great because they were having an episode like every day.
Someone said, good point, Brian. And you must have talked to my 90-year-old aunt. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I've made some great connections with veterans, and I know it emails, they reach out, and I encourage them to. I'm like, hey, if you're a veteran and you're seeing this, and don't feel free to email me at carnivoresoldier@gmail.com. And they do, a lot of them. So I've had a lot of them email me and back channel stuff because they don't feel comfortable posting stuff out front, which I understand because a lot of it is hard. And just getting those connections, huge. And, so like I was saying, I have a membership, and I have some people that have that support my membership, and I just want to highlight them now. First is Carnivore Cheer, which I did go over her channel a little bit, and she was my first one. She joined a month ago, and then Don Rodriguez also joined. So they are members and subscribers to the channel, so they get access to my weekly, personal videos that are not quite as I don't know. I don't stage or script stuff, but I mean they're not edited. They're just like me talking. They're off the cuff weekly videos, and then occasionally live streams. So I have two members right now that are following, which is great because they are actually helping support. And you don't make a lot of money. You don't really make money in YouTube. So what you do is you pay subscriptions, and then they get funded by either ads or members who watch stuff. So that's kind of the way it works. So anyway, yeah, I just want to bring those guys up. It's great. Let's see. Sounds like someone was upset the big pharma isn't getting all the money. Yeah, I got to go with that. It is so crazy how the pharmaceutical companies and the food companies operate, and how they've got everyone in this mass mind control thing where, the first thing anyone asked me, I don't know about you, Brian. First time anyone finds out I'm carnivore, they're like, well, what about your cholesterol? It's the first thing, right? It's total brainwashing. Yep. I saw someone's carnivore channel, and they end their videos on our cholesterol is fine. And I love that. I was like, have you seen that? Have you seen that couple?
No.
It's another new couple. I don't think they've been doing it long, but I just love it. They end their video with, and our cholesterol is fine. That's their last statement. I'm like, that is awesome. I almost want to steal it, but I don't, because that's their thing. That'd be like someone stealing my all right thing, right? That's me. So yeah, I do love that. And I will highlight them at some point for sure, because I like their stuff. What do you use for your community? You have email, but do you have like a Facebook page too?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page. It's called Wick Goes Carnivore. I also have Instagram, Twitter. That's just Instagram's at my name, Brian Nowicki. Twitter's at Coach Big Bri, BRI. So I have all those. But yeah, Facebook probably is the next biggest thing after YouTube in terms of interacting with people, more so than Instagram or Twitter. So that's, like I said, it's Wick Goes Carnivore if you want to look that up. And I post a lot of things on there as well. So
do you actually have a group, or is it just a page?
It's just a page. Yeah. I belong to a couple of other people's groups, like, Carnivore Backwoods. He has a group. Intentional Carnivore Sean White. He has a group. So I'm in their groups.
Yeah. I'm in Sean White's.
Cassie and Larry, Carnivore Quest, they have a group that I'm in. So, I'm in a few different groups. So I was like, I don't know that I need to do a group too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think Carnivore Quest is the recipe for the deviled eggs I made. I think it was Cassie, because she had did you see her video come out? They had like the recipes for Thanksgiving, had a gravy, had deviled eggs. She had like 4 or 5 recipes in this one, a flop cake or something. She did like this recipe thing. It looked really good. So my Thanksgiving, I actually ate. So I did ribeyes for all the adults. We had 12 people over. I was one of 11 plus me, 10 plus me and my son, basically. There's 3 kids, and all the rest were adults. I made ribeyes for everyone, and I smoked them and reverse seared them. They were fantastic. I'd never done that many, and I was kind of worried I was gonna, but I just left them in the smoker and pulled them out 2 at a time and seared them and served them. And my brother had smoked a turkey, which was fantastic. It was phenomenal. Perfect moisture, perfect smokiness. So it's truly a Texas style Thanksgiving. And everyone there was carnivore except for my neighbor's girlfriend. She wasn't, and his son wasn't. And then my brother's wife and daughter weren't, and son. So they weren't. So my son was carnivore. So everyone else was carnivore. And it was fantastic. We had a lot of carnivore food. But so anyway, and I invited another veteran who didn't have anywhere to go. So like, hey, come on over, Kelly, we'll hang out. And he made some drinks. So anyway, so I did kind of cheat. And I'm going to talk about my cheat here for Thanksgiving. It wasn't terrible. I ate too much Dr. Kiltz's ice cream. My sister made a Oh yeah, the eggnog. I made that eggnog. It was fantastic. So the eggnog, that's another thing I made. I made an eggnog with heavy whipping cream, egg yolks, a little bit of vanilla, and I added a little bit of stevia to it, liquid stevia, and it was fantastic. Drank that with some rum. It was really good. So I did drink some alcohol, and I actually had an old fashioned traditional with sugar in it. Like my buddy came over and he made some really good old fashions that had like the cherries muddled in it and everything. Really bad for you. That night my stomach hurt. It did, and it took a couple days to get back to normal. But that eggnog was fantastic. It was super easy to make. It just tasted much lighter than regular eggnog, and it was just. I mean, I remember when being a kid, I'd buy the eggnog that was super thick, and I'd cut it with milk. But I loved it. I still loved it, and this was really good. So then the other thing I put in there was a little bit of nutmeg, which is the eggnog flavor you get. So a little bit of nutmeg, and then I made eggnog ice cream, and that was good. So yeah, that was my. Did you have any carnivore desserts at all, or you just didn't do any desserts?
Yeah, no, we didn't have any carnivore desserts, so it was just like your standard like cheesecakes, pumpkin pie, stuff like that. So I stayed away from those. I mean, I will say that the next day I did have a very small piece of the cheesecake. So I didn't have any on Thanksgiving, but I did have a very small piece the next day. Um,
How
and
was it?
I was like, yeah, it's not as good as I remember it being, but
Right,
you
right.
know,
It never is.
so yeah. So, but you know that was see that was probably my mistake too because the food was still in there, and the next day I hadn't eaten yet, so I didn't get. I wasn't in the same situation I was on Thanksgiving where I was pretty much ate already and I was pretty full, so it didn't affect me as much. But then the next day I saw it sitting there in the fridge, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna have a small piece, and it was a small piece, but yeah. Overall, I think that's pretty good though, that my Thanksgiving for me was, a million times better than last year. Last year I was
Oh yeah,
probably 3 months into carnivore
and you
and
just went off the
um
rails.
yeah, I went off the rails and I I felt so sick that evening too because I wasn't used to eating like that for like 3 months, right? 3, 4 months, whatever it was. So I'm glad this year was much better for me. I did pretty well.
Yeah, planning ahead, man, that makes a huge difference. Uh,
Yeah.
and my sister did bring that cheesecake, and it was a ketovore cheesecake, so no sugar in it or anything, but still had a lot of dairy, and it had like the crust was almond flour or something, I think, or maybe pecan. I don't know. She had it was some kind of crust. It tastes good, but I knew it was gonna hurt my stomach, and it did. My stomach did pay the price, but I had to try it. I'm like, well, I got to try that, and then she made this pumpkin spice soup with
Hmm.
and she used keto chow. Have you ever used keto chow? I've never used it. I bought some.
I have not, no.
So they have stuff that's keto, but it's like seasoning. So she did
Mhm.
a keto chow pumpkin spice seasoning, and you put it in with some like poblano peppers or something and some spicy breakfast pork sausage and like a cream base, and it makes this like a pumpkin. It's a really good soup, man. My son ate the heck out of it. I ate a couple times, and it was fantastic. Oh, Simpson Johns. I had planned cheat of keto pumpkin pie, but it was nasty, so I stayed on track, but not by choice. If it was good, you would have ate that sucker, huh? I ate way too much ice cream. I mean, when I made that ice cream, it was good, and I ate that ice cream, man, and it hurt my stomach because the thing was I had leftovers, so the next day I ate it again. So I had ice cream
Mm.
2 nights in a row and a lot of it, and I was like, yeah, it really hurt my stomach.
I
Yeah,
did that once a few months back when I made Dr. Kilt's ice cream,
yeah,
and I didn't just have, like, a little bit, I had, like, a bunch of it, and my stomach was hurting after it, so I don't know if
it
it's just too
hurts,
much
right?
dairy or what. Yeah.
It's the dairy. I mean, it does hurt. I mean, I know I didn't like gain weight and didn't get inflamed or anything, but it didn't feel good.
Mhm.
Uh, so but and the thing is, yeah, you're like me. I mean, I binge. If I When I was on the standard diet, I would binge, and I was like, this is binge worthy, so I binged. and it hurt my stomach. I'm like, okay, that's not going to happen again. That was not good. So I think next time I make it, I'll just make a much smaller batch. Do a pint, and that's more, it's, I can binge that and it won't hurt me, but doing a quart was too much. Or, it was a lot. So, yeah, cool. So, not much going on tonight. No questions, huh? No one's got any questions? Tell us about your guys' Thanksgiving, guys. I did watch a video. Let's talk about exercise on Carnivore. Are you doing any exercise? Are you walking, or are you doing anything at all that you're implementing, or do you plan to?
So I just started up doing a little bit of just doing push-ups and stuff like that.
Great.
So it's funny. I know you're going to talk about the running, the sprinting, and I've talked about this a few times in the last few weeks. That's something I want to get into doing. Dr. Sean O'Mara is great for that. He brings out a lot of good points. And I think that's something I'm probably going to get into in the spring because it's really cold here right now. It's definitely not Texas. It's Virginia. It's not as bad as if it was higher north, but 40s, early low 50s. That's pretty cold for me. So, yeah. So I'm basically looking at probably starting sprinting in the spring, but I am doing some push-ups and stuff like that, maybe some arm curls, that kind of thing right now, just to kind of get a little bit going in.
Do some planks. You know how to do a plank?
Oh yeah.
I
haven't done those in a while. I haven't done those in a few years, but yeah.
Body weight conditioning, perfect for this. I'm telling you, especially you're coming off being really heavy, right? So you're going into a normal body BMI now. So doing a body weight exercise is fantastic. Planks are really good.
Yeah. I think the last time I did planks were 2017.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll have to see how long I can do it. Might be able to hold it for about 3 or 4 seconds.
So I saw that Sean O'Mara video today where he was interviewed on 5 Minute Body. The video is called "The #1 Best Way to Burn Belly Fat. It's Not Meat." And now eating meat does help that, obviously, but this is the best fat burning exercise is sprinting. And he's the guy that does the MRIs and cuts your body into slices and shows visceral fat before and after. And what he does is he runs his patients on sprints, and if they pick up sprinting, and the way he does it, he describes it in this video that they only sprint a couple times a week, and the sprints are short. We're talking, I think he said 1 to 10 sprints between 5 seconds and a minute long at the max, right? I don't know about a minute long sprint. Not really a sprint to me. So I picked up, and I found a couple of random number generators. I'm implementing it in my daily workout, which not daily, weekly. I'm doing it twice a week, which is what he recommended, something like 2 or 3 times a week. So I'm starting sprinting twice a week. I've been doing sprints in the past, but not on a regular basis. Hey, DC Learning Lives here. DC, I'm going to try to make it tonight. It'll be late night, but I'm going to try to jump on with you guys at 5:30 your time, which is 1:30 a.m. my time. So I got my alarm set. Be looking out for me, brother. So yeah, you can do them on a stationary bike, but he argues that that you can do that, but it's better if you have the ability to run. He said it's better for your body to run because that's what we were designed to do, obviously. And he likens it to whether you're sprinting in pursuit of dinner, right? If you're hunting, if you're a hunter, or you're sprinting away from a potential predator or another human trying to kill you. Humans normally sprinted if they could. So he says, you want to do a couple sprints. And so I have one random number generator, generates a number between 1 and 6. That's how many sprints I'm going to do. And then I have another one. It's pretty cool. It's a random timer. And you can set the max time and the minimum time. So I set it from 5 seconds to 30 seconds. And every time I hit the button, it starts a timer, and I just run as fast as I can until that timer stops. And then when it stops, it gives me an alert because I'm listening to music, and I think like a couple of mine were like 10 to 12 seconds, and a couple of them were 25 to 28 seconds. So I felt it after 4 sprints today. I did 4, and I'm just going to track that. And the other thing I'm doing is I'm doing the band exercises, which if being older, I used to lift weights a lot when I was in the military, and of course in college as an athlete. I was heavy into weightlifting, but now I've got so many injuries that aren't going to be healed from carnivore because it's like damaged tissue that's not coming back. Carnivore doesn't regrow tendons and ligaments, right? It doesn't do that. It'll heal stuff that's damaged, and I feel a lot better, but I'm still can't do the things I did, some things. So I've learned that lifting with bands, the rubber bands, basically doesn't overload your joints. And for a guy my age, that is a huge deal. So when I'm here, I have no load. When I'm up here, I'm at max load, right? On a band, or doing squats or doing overhead press, any of that stuff. And it makes a giant difference on my joints. I get full muscle build, and I don't get stress on the joints, which can't get that on weights. Free weights don't do that. So if you ever look at doing any weights besides your body weight, I do recommend checking out a band system. And I have the X3 system, which is an expensive system. They have one that's about half price on Amazon that actually works pretty well. And anyone wants to check it out, there's links on my webpage for both. Yeah, so the X3 thing's probably about $250. I'm sorry, the X3 is about $500, and the one on Amazon is like $250. But compared to a gym membership, and the other thing is with band workout, what I do is I do 1 set to failure on each exercise. So I'm doing 4 to 5 exercises, 1 set to failure. It takes me about 15 minutes to do a full workout. So literally, I'm lifting maybe 40 to 60 minutes a week, and then running twice. And I feel great, and I look great. I mean, my body's really responding to that. So anyway, that's really good. But until then, yeah, just starting out with body weight exercises. In the Army, we're big in that, obviously. Doing push-ups. We would say we'd be in formation, and they'd say like half right face, and everyone do a half right face, and then they say front leaning rest position, move, and everyone go down to a push-up, and you're sitting there. That's the front leaning rest position where you're up like this. and then they'd say down, up, down. They start doing the cadence, and you have to everyone pushing up in formation. That is an experience for sure. But we're big believers in all that body weight stuff in the military. It works. So yeah, it's good to hear. Keep us posted on that, man. And here's another thing: keep track. Get a spreadsheet and keep track of your exercises. Like journal it, kind of, or whatever. You don't have to keep track of exact numbers or anything. Just like keep track of because I don't know about you, but my experience. I wish I would have journaled more in the beginning of my experience. I do keep track of stuff now a lot more through this YouTube channel, and also through spreadsheets where I just keep track of stuff. And I think it really helps because you can look back and see, see what's happened, and see how much you've changed. Would you ever do that? Do you ever look back and did you journal at all, or?
I mean, I haven't done any kind of like a journal thing with exercising, but I would say probably the first, I don't know, 6 months or so of eating this way, I did like journal whatever I ate for that day. So that is something I did. With the push-ups and stuff, I do want to see like what is my max, how many push-ups I can do in one given time and so forth, and see how much that progresses. So that's something I want to do with that.
Yeah.
And I probably will do planks because I used to do those. So I'll probably do those and see how long I can go and see how that improvement goes over time as well. So
have you ever heard of a Tabata push-up? Tabada.
So no, I've heard of Tabata as in Tabata as in like it's kind of like a HIIT type of thing, high intensity interval, right?
That's what it is. Yeah, you can do push-ups with Tabata. You can do Tabata on
Okay. So yeah, you're doing like what, 10 push-ups and then rest for a few seconds and then 10 more or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's a timer. There's apps on the phone where you do
Yeah.
20 seconds of working out, 10 seconds rest, 20 seconds working out, 10 seconds rest. You do like 8 rounds. So you do as many push-ups as you can in the 20 seconds, and then you stop for 10 seconds, then you push, and the clock just keeps going. It's like a slave driver. I like those. I mean, that's kind of fun. Just to change things up. So if you get bored of just doing push-ups and you want to change it up, download a Tabata app. They're free on most phones. And you can just set up like a 20-second, 10-second, 8-round thing and see how many push-ups you can do like that. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. Let's see. Oh, Arlene. Hurt my knee, tweaked it getting into the shower twice this week. So drinking collagen, beef gelatin, and resting it. Did a few sets with hand weights, push-ups, and I'm 66. Nice. Way to go. I mean, that's what it's all about. I want to have an awesome quality of life as I get older. I'm 57, I'm not young anymore, but I guess according to Anthony Chafee, if you die before you're 120, something killed you because you're designed to live that long. So I'm almost midlife. A couple more years, I'll be midlife, right? At 60, which is great. And that's what I plan to live my life like. I want to be like, what's her name? Maggie up there, at 83, jumping the fence and wrangling cows, man. That's badass. She's like my hero. And that's kind of the way I want to be. So I got a report on my son. I'll brag on him a little bit again because he's a carnivore. And the soccer season had ended, and then he had a tournament to be in. And he went and played 3 games and didn't sub out once and didn't get tired. He came to me and goes, "Dad, I didn't get tired." He's like, and he played hard the whole time. And 2 of the games were defensive battles. He's defense, so he played a lot. And I was like, man, he didn't once sub out. And I'm like, holy cow, that's amazing. I mean, even for a kid, because 3 soccer games, that's a lot. That's intense. And I was like, dang, and he's like, yeah, this is great. So he's such a big believer in this way of eating. And I am even more so seeing that. I'm like, wow, I wonder. And so it's so much so that my brother's daughter, my son's cousin, Elizabeth, she's a competitive swimmer, and she wants to go carnivore because she saw Colton and how he's doing. And then the other thing is she's seen professional swimmers apparently are now going carnivore because they don't ever run out of carbs if they're burning fat, so they can swim like forever and not get tired. So it's pretty amazing that it's starting to get into the athletic level and more elite levels, I think, of athletes. So
yeah, and it should. I mean,
yeah,
because it does help with the endurance, and that's great with your son. Like, that's amazing. 3 games. I mean, soccer, you're constantly running around, so that's crazy. I think the interesting thing is that you're going to see it with some younger people that they're seeing their parents eat that way and they're going to do it. And then you're going to have your individual athletes do it more than you're going to see teams, right? Like some of the bigger professional teams, they're going to be afraid to go that way just because of what the standard is and so forth. And I think you're going to have to see the push from the individual athletes and see their performance changes before you're going to see some of these professional teams actually start thinking about changing things over.
Yeah, for sure. And so now your kids aren't carnivore, and they're older, right?
Yeah, they're in college. So.
But so the good news is, though, they've seen the change in you, and just like my son saw the change in me, at some point they may run into a roadblock and say, "Man, this is not working. Whatever the standard American diet, whatever X in my life isn't working out the way it's supposed to, right?" And at least they've got a roadmap now and someone they can come talk to, which is great. I think just setting the example, and not being an evangelist all the time. It's hard not to do sometimes, but with your family, I think you just got to kind of set the example, right? And hope people come along. I mean, my brother's wife started asking a lot of questions during Thanksgiving, probably because her daughter wants to do it now too. So again, we didn't, I didn't say, well, only carnivores can come to Thanksgiving because you guys are gonna have to eat this. I didn't do that. I'm like, hey, bring your sides, That's cool. You guys can do what you want. I'm not a carnivore Nazi. I don't do that. Hopefully you guys will eat good but the thing is, by not doing that, I think the conversation's open on the table and people feel comfortable talking about it because they know I'm not going to judge them and be looking down, give them the stink eye because they're eating stuffing or whatever. So I think it's a big thing. It's hard not to do because I guarantee you, I mean, even like going out on dates and stuff, like seeing someone eat some stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, that's so terrible. Like, okay, I'm going to put this out here. So I went out on a date for coffee, just not a real date, just meet up for coffee, right? Because I'm single and that's what you do. So I'm out at coffee, and she ordered coffee with oat milk, and I had seen that there's the Evil Food Supply has a channel. If you guys have not seen it, I'll put a link in this description too. It's an amazing channel. All documentaries. They have a documentary on oat milk. Oat milk is quite possibly the worst, most evil stuff you can put in your body because it's almost pure seed oil. It's not, I mean, that's how they get it to froth because oat milk is really just oat and water, and you can't froth water in coffee. It will not froth. You need something as a thickening agent that will froth. So they put tons of seed oil in there, and that's all it is. So you're basically just adding pure seed oil to your coffee. And I'm just going, oh my gosh. I'm like, so I actually asked her, I was like, are you allergic to milk or, dairy? And it turned out she is. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. But I didn't want to say, oh, you should check this documentary out because that's actually poison you're putting in your body. And she's quite healthy and everything. I mean, I just, at least she looked like she was. I don't know. But it's just one of those things, right? That it's so hard. It's just like going to the grocery store and looking at everyone's baskets, right? Do you find yourself doing that? I find myself doing that a lot.
Yeah, I do.
I'm not judging. I'm just like, holy cow. It's so weird because I was right there with them not long ago. 100%. Yeah. Thinking I was eating healthy too. I think I was, first date conversation. Yeah. 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 But it's the truth, right? Right, DC? I mean, come on. It's like oat milk is probably, it's worse than almond milk, I think. It's not environmentally friendly. It's like they show the factories that make them. It's like there's nothing good about oat milk other than it makes huge profit. That is the best part about it for them. It's a huge profit margin compared to real milk. And that's why they push it so much. Yeah, I find myself looking at people's food choices now, and it's so, I don't know, man. It's hard to do. And it's like it's invariably too when you look at their basket and then look at their body and you can say, oh, metabolic syndrome. I mean, metabolic syndrome. That's why I look around. I was like, oh my gosh. And look what's in their basket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The evils of oat milk. No, oat milk's not just bad for you, it's evil. And if you watch the documentary, Evil Food Supply, that documentary is fantastic. They have great documentaries on dog food, on pet food, not just dog food, on oat milk, on chicken, like all these great documentaries that are free on YouTube. So again, I will have that link in my in the description on this video below, so you guys can come back and look at it. Let's see. I was trying to get started on walking more. And it started a little more part way down squats, hurt myself, trying to exercise past 6 years, lose my last 50 pounds on carnivore heels. Yeah, walking is a fantastic exercise if you can do it, for sure. And there's other body weight exercises you can do as well, but walking has got to be one of the best, I think. I walked a ton during October during that challenge. I know you did too. I know your thing was broken, so you couldn't really compete with us. You couldn't keep up because your phone was.
It looks like I did horrible.
No, I know you did better. Yeah. So let's see. If you tell her, she'll either thank you for saving her health or look at you like you're crazy, or does the most expensive meal never calls. Yeah. Yeah. So I go out for coffee on a first date, so there's no meal. Just because, I mean, listen, you know, it's like, okay, so here's the deal. Dating at my age, internet dating is completely weird, but I realize that, you know, I can't really gauge someone on an internet page and figure out what they're like or if there's real attraction. You just don't know. I mean, you have no clue. And there's something, you know, real desire can't be negotiated. So it's either there or it's not. That's what people call it chemistry, whatever you want to call it. So until you meet, you know, you can be perfect on paper and everything be great, and even talking on the phone, but when you meet, it may not be there, right? So that I'm like, hey, let's just go get some coffee and meet up and see if there's any connection here. And it's hard though, being an older guy, being on the internet. I miss the days when we used to go like out Thursday night after work to the local bar and hang out with friends and have a couple drinks, and then you'd look over across and see someone you were already attracted to. Go, oh, that's someone. She's got a nice smile, and she'd smile back, and then you'd, you know, grow some balls and go over and say hi, introduce yourself, right? And then see if you, and then get to know them before. I mean, get to know them before you know anything about them. So like now it's like there's this whole profile. It's like all this stuff, all this data. It's like a resume. It's like job interviews. It's like this is not what dating's supposed to be like. Dating's supposed to be like more organic. Like you meet someone, you're interested. And now that's not saying I haven't had some really good dates. I've had some great experiences, but overall, it's pretty terrible. I don't recommend it unless you're stuck. This was not the plan. How about that? This is not my plan. But being a military guy, you know, divorce is kind of part of the thing sometimes, I guess. So, so count your blessings there, Brian, that you're married, and you know, DC, you're not dating though. Come on, you're married, right? So you don't have to deal with that we do, but it does. But maybe you did before you met your significant other. Crystal, yes, dating is hard. It's not fun. It's a chore. And then here's the thing with me: I get sick of it and I stop. I'm like, all right, I'm out. I'm good being single the rest of my life. I start thinking that, and then I, after like months, I'll just join back like on Match or something, and then start running through the mill of looking at profiles and saying hi to people. Oh, it's just such a chore. Yeah, such a chore. Yeah, DC, you got a good one, man, for sure. Yeah, it is getting worse though. All right. Arlene was 287 6 years ago, did Weight Watchers. In 2 years, added vegan, burning feed diabetes, went low carb, lost 80 pounds. 3 months carnivore. Well, so if you're 3 months carnivore, Arlene, you've gotten over the major first hump for sure. I don't know about weight loss, but healing you're going to be doing. And that's the big difference for me, because I was keto too. Brian, were you keto before you went carnivore? I think you were, right?
Yeah, for a couple months.
I'd done keto several times, one for like 8 months. I did, and I lost a lot of weight, but I never lost the inflammation and the pain that went away with carnivore. Never. When I went carnivore, it was completely different. So I would say, Arlene, you know, you're on the road to wellness for sure, and this is the right path, I believe. I'm 100% convinced. I wouldn't be doing this channel if I wasn't, because I've never had the desire to be a YouTuber in my whole life. And this changed everything. It's like, all right, I'm just going to get out there. I remember making my first videos, like feeling like this is so weird talking to a camera that no one's going to see this video. Because I remember I looked at videos on how to start a YouTube channel. Of course, looked at YouTube, and they're like, no one's going to watch your first 100 videos or whatever, your first 10 videos. Don't even count on it. And I thought, this is so weird just talking to someone that's not there. But it worked out. So, oh, first time here. So glad to find another channel of meat eaters. Yes. Crystal. I guess it's Crystal or Crystal. Firestone. Nice. Are you related to the Firestone family? Just curious, because they're really big up Michigan. So I guess they're actually Indiana or something, right? Anyway, well, welcome, Crystal. We do have Facebook pages you can check out too. I actually have a Facebook group. Let me show that real quick. Yeah, I've got a Facebook group called the Carnivore Diet Exchange. You're welcome to join that. A lot of people there. It's a good community of people from this channel and others. Let's see what else we got in here.
I'm trying to figure out why I didn't know about that group.
I don't know. Could you join?
I didn't know you had a Facebook group.
Yeah, I don't want to force you to join in. I mean, I have the Carnivore Diet Exchange. It's got like 450 people now. It's growing fast. It's a nice group. I mean, I don't let it's private. It's a private group. So there's a difference between private and public groups, right? So if you do a public group and someone posts something, then all their friends can see it. And some people don't want to post stuff about their diet in front of all their friends and family, right? So on this group, it's a private group. You join, you answer the questions, and then you post your stuff, and only people in the group see it, which is nice. And no one can share it outside the group either. So if you post something in there, it's more private, right? So, all right, happy alone. I eat what I want when I want with no attitude. Yeah, I get that way, and I'm not quite alone. I have my dog Duke. He is my service dog. He is my constant companion, and I will never forget him because he's on my heels twice a day for food, and he's a carnivore too, and no attitude. So, okay, Arlene lost 8 pounds, but feel much better and don't have crazy cravings for keto cheesecake. Oh my gosh, keto cravings were the worst for me because I would eat Quest bars. Literally, I would get up at like 6 p.m. and I'd be like, I got to go get some Quest bars or something. I didn't have anything sweet in the pantry, and because I wouldn't buy stuff on purpose. So I'm like, I don't want to eat those and I would be craving so bad I'd drive to the gas station and buy expensive Quest bars instead of like the case. Because if I bought a case, I'd start eating those things like 2 or 3 a day. Not good for you, for sure. Yeah, no cravings. I love not having cravings. 179 days now. Fantastic. I think I'm 255. What are you at, Brian? You started before me, so.
Yeah, I started in July of 2022. So.
Oh, wow. So you're well over a year now. July, August, September, October, November.
So yeah, I'm almost 18 months, I guess. 17 months in. Yeah.
Oh, Crystal's still waiting on those Firestone checks. Yeah, nice. My husband was a horrible dater, even with 42 years of marriage. I wonder what attracted me. Nice. Had to be something there, right? Had to be something there. I mean, everyone has redeeming qualities. You just got to find and everyone's got crazy, right? Everyone's got their own little level of crazy. You got to find the crazy that works for you, right? That you can deal with. And yeah, so, well, congratulations. I'm glad you found your husband, even though he was a horrible dater. I'm just saying, dating in today's world is not fun. Not a good thing. I don't recommend it. If you're married, fix your marriage. If it has problems, don't get divorced. Whatever, it's not worth it because there's definitely not green grass on the other side of being single. It's not. I mean, there's some things I do like some days being single, but that's just life. 2 months in carnivore, a lot of pain, muscle aches, hip pain. Doesn't help when you're in your 70s. Yeah, I don't think there's a guarantee that all pain will go away, but my pain, I have damage from military service, service-related injuries, put it that way, from the Army, and without going into detail, but tissue damage, stuff that's not going to be healed, but the inflammation's gone down, and you're only 2 months in. Give it 100 days for sure. My arthritis dissipated and is pretty much gone now, even in my thumbs and stuff. Like arthritis, I had crazy places. Trust the process. And also this, people talk about, I've been carnivore. Well, what is carnivore to you? Because some people, when they do carnivore, they're doing a lot of dairy. Dairy can lead to a lot of inflammation. For me, it does. When I did the ice cream and such, my stomach hurt, but also I noticed a flare up in my inflammation, my aching. So if you cut dairy out and do like bbbe or do lion diet, a lot of times that can get rid of the extra pain. So you may want to just tweak that. You can check out Jordan Peterson and Michaela Peterson because they are textbook people that switched and had to give up everything except for just beef and water and salt. but because that they fully healed. So what about you, Brian? What's your carnivore like? I know you said bacon, so you're still eating bacon. I eat some.
Yeah. Yep. I eat mostly beef, but I do eat bacon. I will eat chicken. Occasionally I'll have like a bubbly or something like that to drink, but it's almost all water. You
Yeah.
really have to watch out if you're taking any of the other stuff. A lot of stuff says it's no sugar, but it's got some sort of artificial sweetener or something in it, and that's going to cause you problems, especially if you're somebody that had like arthritis or something like that. So I try and stay away from that as much as possible. So it's almost always water, and yeah, mostly beef, really.
Yeah, and one of the guys in my Facebook group who's new, he'd done carnivore once for 30 days and once for 45 days, and he's like, I got bored, and I'm like, well, you didn't do it long enough. You have to do like 100 days before your taste buds actually change, and then all you care about is beef. It's so weird, but it's true, and it's not. If it was just me, I would say N=1, so that's weird. But like, I know you and other people, carnivore backwoods. I know people personally who all have experienced the exact same thing. That once you get over 100, 120 days, it's really all you want. And for me, the whole, I guess the whole social aspect of dining has changed quite a bit. It's just more like a biological function again.
Yep.
Good morning from the UK. Hey, Errol, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Oh, let's see. Was it the car? Hey, I got a nice car. All right. Thank you for your service also. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm retired now. I got my retired hat on. See. So, yeah, my service was good. I really enjoyed the service, but it was at a different time because I joined in 1984 when we were going against the Soviet Union. They were the obvious evil empire. We were the good guys, the city on the hill, wearing the white hats, and it was a different time. And after retiring in 2019, I had a break in service, so I did 21 years, but I retired in 2019 at 53 years old. And I got kind of disillusioned over these last few years, seeing what the military had become, and actually seeing the effects of the military-industrial complex, which we can see now in the food chain. It's so identical to seeing in the pharmaceutical and food chain. It's identical. And I got disillusioned in the military, and I'm disillusioned in the FDA and our food chain. And it's not different. It's the same feeling. So if you guys are disillusioned with the pharmaceutical companies because of whatever has happened and you've seen the truth, it's the same feeling I had in the military. So my son, when he was young, I was hoping he'd follow my footsteps and join the military because I thought it was a great experience. I did meet fantastic people and went on adventures and got to do amazing things, got to do terrible things too, but amazing things. And, but I'm so disillusioned. I was hoping he wouldn't, and now he doesn't. He's like, Dad, I don't want to, because he sees all these billboards. And I don't know about you guys, but in Texas, there's all these billboards about veteran suicide, preventing veteran suicide. And my son's like, if I join the Army, I'm going to want to kill myself. I'm like, yeah, I can't tell you not, because I mean, I've had more people that I've served with die from suicide than combat in 21 years, which is not abnormal, I don't think. And yeah, I'm like, yeah, you could. I mean, it's not a great thing. So I would just say, the military's changed a lot. It wasn't like that all the time. So yeah, smash the like button, everyone. Let's see. Grateful. Keto, keep giving yourself time to heal. Yes, it takes time to heal. A lot of people, and the scale is again the worst indicator, especially when you're first starting this thing. So make sure that you can. Here's a question: make sure that you journal, because things change. I would say like sleep habits, sleep quality, restfulness, anxiety, depression. These things change, and that's not on a scale, right? Aches and pains, energy levels, motivation levels. These are just things that, for me, and not just me, like I said, not just N=1, but for a lot of people, lots of people I know, Brian here too, this changes. So, journal your experience and and keep track of that, because the weight will come off. You will eventually, but you might have to heal first. And you might have to dial in your diet too, right? You might have to tweak it. So who fasts for any time? Do you fast, Brian?
Not like regular long fasting. I think in general, carnivore kind of makes you an intermittent faster. And that's what I am. Like there's a time period that I was kind of more OMAD. And so I would fast for like 24 days because I'd only eat one, or 24 hours. That's what days, 24 hours, because I would only eat like once a day. Right now I'm eating twice a day, and still there's like probably about an 18-hour fast in there, but that's just intermittent fasting. It's not like, you see people do 48, 36, 72-hour, whatever fast. I've never been into doing those types of fasts. I've been more just about listening to my body and my hunger and eating when I need to eat. So I haven't done those type
I
of
think that's
fasts.
the natural state. And so for me, fasting isn't that. That used to be fasting because I would be like starving. Oh, I'm not going to eat breakfast. I'm going to wait till 1 o'clock, and then the clock says I can eat now. That's intermittent fasting, when you're really hungry and you don't eat. So I just listen to my body signals now because I trust them, because they've been healed. When I'm hungry, I'm actually hungry now. And before, I'd have all kinds of emotional triggers and physical cravings and stuff that was from the broken hunger signals I had. I think Dr. Anthony Chafee puts it great. He says that this diet is a fasting mimicking diet. So if you just eat fatty beef until you're satiated, you are actually fasting. You're running on ketones, so you are in a fasted state. You're just eating, and that he argues is the natural state, which I believe it is. I agree with him because it just feels right. So now when you just skip breakfast, it's just that your hunger signal didn't trigger. It's not that you're fasting. Now you're like setting a clock, say I'm not going to eat till 1. I don't agree with fasting on this diet. I don't think you need to help the diet. I think what you need to do is, especially when we first start, just eat whenever you're hungry, eat till satiated, and relearn your hunger signals, because they're going to change. And then trust your body to just eat at the proper time. You won't eat too much. I mean, I don't think I've never seen anyone do it yet, where you're just going to eat till it doesn't taste good anymore, and then stop eating. I mean, it's just like a lion. Lions don't intermittent fast. I mean, they do between meals when they don't have food. They haven't made a kill, but they eat, and they eat till they're full, and then they stop, right? So I mean, we're a lot like that. So I think you just need to now fasting for a period of days. Now that could, I would say, fasting for religious purposes, totally different thing. I get that. Fasting, you can do a couple days, and I've seen people do this too for to address issues, maybe like loose skin. I know people have done that. They do dry fasts and stuff. So there you could plan something like that, but that would actually be a true fast, because that's when you're ignoring your hunger signals, and that's what I think real fasting is. I don't think what you and I do, Brian, because I don't either. I just eat when I'm hungry. I think skipping breakfast, or even skipping breakfast and lunch, isn't really fasting, because I'm not hungry. And then as soon as I am, I go eat, right? So I think that's not really fasting. I think fasting is like what she's talking about. I have done it. I've fasted for 4 days before. I'm sure it's not bad for you. I just wouldn't, especially if you're first starting out, I wouldn't lean into that. I would wait till you get your body healed and you're really comfortable doing carnivore. That's kind of like carnivore 200, 300 series classes. The 100 classes have to be mastered first. All right. Well, we're getting a little over an hour here, but let's see. 62 and keto, getting better on carnivore. Great. Arthritis went 85% better. Nice. Not quitting, that's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure. Don't just keep driving. Drive on. It gets easier. It gets better. It does. Some more date information. David, on our first date, had a horrible cold and tried to kiss. Yeah, it's probably not a good idea. I probably wouldn't go out on a date if I had a horrible cold, but Dairy caused me a lot of pain. I'm 64. Yeah, when you cut out completely, pain stop. There you go. See, that's something. Now, dairy doesn't necessarily mean butter. Okay, so when I'm talking about cutting out dairy, I'm talking about everything but butter, probably, or ghee. Some people can't do butter either; they'll just do ghee, and some people can't do ghee, in which case they would do lard and tallow, right? But I forget what the protein is. It casein protein in milk and dairy that causes people problems? I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is.
No fasting in the future. I would like to try priming soon. I haven't done any priming, I don't think. Let's see. Check out priming on the carnivore diet. Yeah, there's a web page. I know there's a carnivore diet web page that talks about priming. I just haven't done it. I didn't need to. I mean, maybe I did do it and didn't know what I was doing. That could be too. I just what I did was I just took everything out of my pantry and threw it away and donated it, and then just switched to meat and started eating bacon and steaks and burgers and cheese. And I did that. That's what I did. So, how did you start, Brian? I think we talked about this before, right? You ketoed in and yeah, you did a gradual change.
Yeah, I did gradually. So I slowly went into keto, and then after a couple of months, I went into carnivore. So it was pretty gradual for me.
Yeah, not me. I was like, I'm going. I just knew if I did keto, I'd have been doing like craving. I would have been doing keto stuff, like Quest bars and stuff. I can't do that. So I was like, I got to go. Let's see. Lion diet just to eliminate stuff. Yeah, lion diet is really, and what's great about lion diet is you can do it for a week or two. You can just say, you know what, I'm going to do 2 weeks. And who can't do this? If you're already on carnivore this long, doing 2 weeks of just eating beef with salt and water, that's super easy. It's just day to day. And you'll probably notice a difference in the first week. Be honest, I did. I mean, I went lion for a month and I lost 14 more pounds immediately. And all of a sudden, my ankle healed quite a bit. It's not fully, but I mean, I can run again. I haven't run since 2017. I've been running sprints. So, I mean, obviously it's healed. See, my husband passed in 2017. So glad that I didn't formally go out in the dating scene. Oh my gosh, you are. Trust me. And it's not better since 2017. I can tell you that. A friend that lived up the road and I got to know each other. Okay, partner. That's great. See, that's organic and I like that. That's what I would prefer. I wish I could, but I don't even know where to go to meet someone now because I work from home, which is terrible. I mean, it's pretty crazy, right? So yeah, I'm retired from the Army. I work from home. It's just, so the internet's kind of like the only thing I got going, but whatever. Let's see. I did fast before I came carnivore. It helped a lot. Yeah, fasting before I was carnivore, I did it, and it did help. But I think because carnivore is a fasting mimicking diet, you don't necessarily need it because you are kind of fasting while you're eating this way. And check that out. Check out carnivore. You can Google carnivore fasting mimicking diet, or you can look it up. There's a video where Dr. Chafee explains it. And basically, to your body, it thinks it's fasting all the time if you're eating this way and you're eating properly. So. Okay, I heard a video that said from children cells turnover 15 days, 84 days for cell turnover. Yeah, so maybe, yeah, so going 90 days or more, 100 days for sure for healing, that can happen. My husband passed in 2016. I didn't date for a long time after that. Then the pandemic hit. Oh, yeah, that's terrible. Sorry to hear that, Dana. Yep. I got divorced in 2018. She left in 2017. So, yeah, pandemic wasn't great for dating either. We got a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. 16-8, 18-6, and 24 eating window on a lot of our days. Yeah, I do that, but it's really just because that's when I'm hungry. Again, like I said, I'm not setting a construct of when to eat. You got to learn to trust your hunger signals, I think. All right. I was looking through these. There's a lot here. Dairy can be problematic. Okay, carnivore hope. Let's see. A young woman just posted she has a big brain tumor. I immediately recommended the carnivore diet. Try her, help with remission. Posted success stories and give her options. Yeah, I know Dr. Chafee has someone he's interviewed that had, is it myoglycoma or whatever it's that very aggressive brain cancer, and the person like totally put in remission going carnivore, and has lived like, and normally people live like 18 months max and 3 months minimum, like if they don't treat it. And this person's been alive for over 10 years and living totally normal, and had like a couple debulking surgeries. But it's wonderful, right? That there are treatments that can actually work in cancer. I want to talk to David Charles, DC Learning to Live. I mean, he survived stage 4 cancer twice, and he's in remission, or at least he's not cancer free. He's in remission. So, but he's doing really good. Okay, here's a question: do any of you belong to local Meatup groups? I was thinking of starting a group, as there doesn't seem to be one where I'm at. Where are you at? I am going to start a Meetup group here in the Austin area. I don't know, Brian, are you in a Meetup group, or have you done any meetups in person?
Yeah, no, I'm not in a group. I only know of a few people in the area that I live, like within decent driving distance of a few hours or whatever, that are actually doing it, doing carnivore. So yeah, I know that there's a keto group that meets, but I haven't tried to join them or anything. And they'd probably start talking about some of the keto foods, and I'd be like, well, I just eat meat.
That's fine. You're keto. Hey, yeah. Carnivore is a keto
it's
diet.
just a stricter keto.
You're 100%. Just say I'm allergic to all plants. And it's true. You have an allergic reaction whenever you eat them. I guarantee it. And that's all you got to say. Hey, I'm allergic to plants and seed oil. Sorry, but I'm a keto guy. So, oh, cool. Your son's a vet in Pflugerville. Pflugerville's not far from me. Pflugerville is probably 20 minutes away. So that's great. Yeah. Tell them to join my Facebook group too, the Carnivore Diet Exchange. And because I am going to be planning some local meetups. And then also we have the Hack Your Health thing coming up in May, which used to be KetoCon. Last year was KetoCon, where all the big doctors are going to come in to speak. And we're definitely doing meetups around that, because I already have some of my guys coming in from other states that I've met on YouTube that we're going to meet up and go. And it's 3 days. My son's going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun to catch some FaceTime with some of these doctors and see them speak, in person. Right now, tickets I believe, are $200. And there's a $50 discount code that I will put in the description of this video. I don't have it handy right now, but there's a $50 discount code you can get. So you can get a 3-day ticket for $150, which is great. And it's in downtown Austin. So, well, let's see. I think we should probably wrap this thing up. We have a lot of, I haven't get through all these yet. Sorry, guys. You guys are all talking, and I'm talking too. So anyway, so Brian, I just want to thank you for being here. It was fun hanging out with you, man.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add at the end here?
Well, thanks for having me on again. It's always fun doing this, so I'm always, welcome to come on. And I don't really have anything to add, I guess.
But you're going to be on tomorrow night, right? On football channel. What channel is that on?
So that'll be on my channel and on Greg's My Weight Loss Life on his channel. That's at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. So that'll be the low carb football party.
Who's playing?
The only other thing I was going to say, gosh,
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
What were you going to say?
We pay a little bit of attention to the football. We talk a little bit at the beginning about the game, and then we'll give score updates, but it's mostly talking about low carb and carnivore, keto, whatever, right? So we're going to talk about health and wellness is going to be our main topic tomorrow night. So that's what it's going to be about. The other thing I was going to say was just that, hey, everybody, we made it through Thanksgiving, right? So, we're getting there. We got Christmas and New Year's, and then we kind of hit the time period where everybody else is saying it's time to start diet, and we're already going to be doing our thing, right? So we don't have to do
That's
that.
right.
Oh, New Year's resolution is that I got to go on a diet, because we're already doing it, because that's our lifestyle.
Or the exercise, right? Because we're already doing that too, you and me anyway. So I started my exercise regimen now. I'm like, all right, this is it. I'm hitting it. I'm doing my sprints. I'm doing my exercises. I had a good day today. Did my sprints and my lifting. So for sure, yeah. Someone told Errol that his diet was not sustainable and he'd be back eating the way before. Little do they know I'm a day 109. Exactly. Exactly, Errol. That's great, man.
I'm almost a year and a half, and I've been told that too, that it's not sustainable, but I'm a year and a half. So
I mean, just tell Maggie she's been doing it for 60 years now.
yeah,
so yeah,
exactly.
When is it not sustainable, right? One of these days she's going to die. That's a fact. It's not going to be from a unsustainable diet, though. I'll tell you that. All right, Brian, I'm going to drop you out and I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks, man.
Thanks.
All right, guys, great video. Thanks for all your interaction. It was fun. I love hanging out with you guys. My Wednesdays are kind of a highlight of the week for me. Definitely check out the Facebook page, join it and join the community. And if you're looking for a local meetup, for sure, post it in there, because people are from all over the country in that place too, and all the world too. So again, I'll be on live tonight at 1:30 in the morning Central Time in Australia with DC Learning to Live. So check that video out. Or you can, if you're not going to get up in the middle of the night, you can go ahead and just watch it later. That's cool too. Just like and subscribe. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Stay strong and overcome. Carnivore Soldier out.